It's a great day. My name is Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the #1 business development and revenue-focused late-night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower. Our mission is to inspire. And our mission at the end of the day is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard-working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to really execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only CeeCee Strong. She's in the building, and she'll be talking about like the M.A.D D, like M-A.D.D. We'll find out what that's all about. Resilience. What's going on? How you doing, CeeCee?
Hey, Shay Brown. Thank you. I am doing well, and I'm so happy to be here with you right now. So thank you for
Well, thank you.
having me.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show. And thank you to viewers for watching, by the way, especially allowing us to stream into your home during these very remarkable times that we live in, whether we're on your iPad right now or your phone, or maybe we're on your big screen TV. I don't know. But thank you so much for having us, by the way. Before we get started, CeeCee, folks will figure out how brilliant you are and intelligent you are, and they'll probably Google you and they'll read the bio underneath it. But, you know, we have the word resilience here. And resilience means different things to different people. So just for a moment, what's your definition of resilience?
My definition of resilience is no matter what, I'm going to crawl. If I can't run, I'm going to walk. If I can't walk, I'm going to crawl. If I can't crawl, I'm dragging my body. My definition of resilience is to keep going, no matter what it looks like. Keep moving forward.
Now, it sounds pretty easy. Just keep moving forward. Yet there are folks who every single day struggle for very legitimate reasons with moving forward. And, you know, you would think they could just listen to a TikTok video and they're back at it. You could think maybe they could go over and watch an Instagram post, or maybe ask, you know, AI, hey, what are some things I need to do just to keep going? Yet they struggle. So here's the question I have to you. Why do folks struggle so much with moving forward when they've been through adversity? I know it's a loaded question, but just in general.
I truly believe that it's connected to other people and what that image looks like. Afraid to say the wrong thing, afraid to make the wrong move, not sure in their own, foundation, I would say. And I could say this by giving an example. I'm in a law enforcement agency. A lot of people won't speak out about things when something goes wrong, and that's part of the problem. So a lot of it is steeped in not really being grounded in who you are and being fearful. It's rooted in fear.
Now, I know this is not a psychology class here, but to the person right now who may be saying, well, Shay, can you let them know I had some trauma in my childhood? I went through some very difficult things. And I have struggled. And, you know, what's 1, 2, or 3 things she might recommend to me? And again, I know this is not a therapy session. We're going to get into what you went through. But what would you say to that person that just is having a hard time letting go of something that took place, I don't know, years ago or in their childhood? Any thoughts for those folks?
I'm a firm believer that we are living still steeped in our childhood. There's a lot of things that we don't flesh out, we don't acknowledge, we don't get past, if you will. And a lot of times people want you to have a sunny side up about everything. But sometimes that can be a mask and you're not really getting to the root of the problem. I would say, and this is my own mantra for myself, I pause, take a deep breath, I pray about whatever it is, and then I proceed and keep moving.
I like that. And sometimes on these shows, I get to ask questions about seeking help as well. Because just in my little small circle, I always say this, not in everybody's circle, my small circles, folks, you know, we just believe in, I'm a Christian. You don't have to be a Christian if you're watching, but, you know, I am, that we just go to church and it's fine. The minister prays for us and hopefully, you know, things just go away. But for other folks, they need some outside help. And some folks, but there's a stigma, you know, that's not what we do, at least in my little circle. So what's your view of the world of being able to sometime after you pray, still maybe get advice outside of, I'll just say, the community that you live in? Is that something that you feel is a good thing or something that folks should look at least be open to?
So first of all, I'm a Christian too. a follower of Christ, is what I call it. And so I totally agree with you, and I understand the church, but sometimes the people there are also people you do a lot of life with. And my philosophy is when I'm having that real serious problem, I need someone with an objective view, not a subjective one, or that they're close to the problem. So, therapy, if that's your thing, not everybody likes that and they put a stigma on it, but also maybe somebody who is not connected directly to what you're dealing with in the moment. An uninvested person, if you will. I think that's something that you need to talk it out. If you don't get it out, you just mask it and cover over it.
I love it. And what you're saying so far, folks, like she's making sense. I like what I'm hearing, but I didn't get a chance to read her bio, Shay Brown. I didn't get a chance to go Google her beforehand. Matter of fact, I'm in the kitchen cooking right now, by the way. Or someone might be driving down the road listening to you in the podcast right now. Maybe you're on the airplane, wherever you are right now. Let's slow down for a moment. I love to do that. And it's a two-part question. Number one, like, who are you? That would be pretty cool for folks as famous as she is to get a chance to get to know you. And number two, what's your backstory that led you to doing what you're doing now?
Who am I? I'm Edna Lee Moore Sherrod's daughter, my mother, Samuel Sherrod's daughter. And then thereafter, I'm a cousin, I'm an aunt, and I'm all of that. I'm Eric's wife. I am a 30-year law enforcement officer, very, very recently retired. Go me. And I am an author. I am a coach. I am a mentor. I am a national television twice featured on two television shows. I am also a business owner of the clothing line, and I'm repping my brand today, WUJC. I'm a mom. I am a Christian and a lover of God, and I am His child first and foremost, above all of that, and so much more.
Okay, and what's the backstory that led you to really doing what you're doing now?
My backstory. Wow. Well, my husband had the nerve, the unmitigated gall to run for sheriff to make our Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department better. And it's not just because he's my husband that I say this, but I don't think that I can measure up or match a resume to his. And I mean that sincerely, no jokes. But as politics go, they couldn't publicly go after him. So I was the collateral damage. I suddenly was a bully. I mistreated my staff. I mistreated people with disabilities. I called people names. I was walking around grabbing people. They actually accused me of assaulting someone. But the problem was that a lot of these complaints that were being made were old, already addressed, and been deemed unfounded, had no merit to them whatsoever. And it ended up being a storytelling and padding a case that was placed on me to derail my career. Where I think people could have given up, I ended up going back to school and I got my master's degree, 4.0 in my class. I wrote books and I authored the book Betrayal the Badge, and it's one of a four-part series. I'm currently working on Spilling the LT, which is the platform for my podcasting. I got to work with the jersey that I'm wearing. And because you said, Shay, you're a Christian, this jersey has Christ on the back of it. And then on the authenticity label on the lower part of the jersey, you get a scripture and you don't know which one your jersey is going to have. The whole idea from the top of the jersey all the way down to the hem is meaning, has meaning in Christ. And he's the ultimate MVP on life's campus. So why wouldn't I, wear and rep my brand and rep my favorite team player? So I created the jersey and opened an e-commerce business line. And thanks to, actually, they say when people's leaders find mentors themselves, they become even better leaders. So shout out to my mentor, Israel Duran, with the IDA team. And I just had to keep going, Shay. I could have crumbled and no one would have blamed me because I had a very in the limelight career. I was a drill instructor for 5 years on the campus, calling cadence. and very proud of training thousands of people. And then in the blink of an eye, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm being called in and told that I'm placed under an investigation and transferred from my command. And that command was over 200 employees, 65 locations all over LA County were touched by my operation, and a $30 million budget. And they removed me from that position and had me sitting basically over in a corner doing audits by myself with no longer any responsibility other than that. So it speaks to the resilience, because if I didn't dig deep and keep going, doing something, and my case was I created an actual video snippet for a movie, basically allowing people to follow my story right along with me. And that was out without even knowing what was going to happen. But I just started building, and I would check one box and then I'd say, hey, let me go and do this. And I did it scared, Shay. Because imagine, this is the largest sheriff's department in the nation, probably in the world. And most folks were telling me, don't do this. This is crazy. Don't speak out. But it's my dad's name, it's my husband's name. And more importantly, it's my name that I was given at birth. And I don't think it should be drugged through the mud. So that mad resilience was necessary to get me to the next step.
Congratulations. You're certainly an inspiration to all of us that are watching, that are listening, and to see you on the other side is really magical. You mentioned MADD a couple of times. It's M.A.D.D. And everybody wants to know, what in the LL Cool J is she talking about, Shay? Can she get to that part? I mean, we're looking at it on the fly, but we just don't know. Don't worry. She's not going to go anywhere. We're going to ask her right now, can she break down M.A.D.D. resilience, so we have the full picture. So you take a couple of minutes, because everybody's on the fence and we want to know.
Well, I can't get to the mad resilience until I get to the spilling the LT. So, people always say you spill the tea. Well, I am by rank a lieutenant. When I retired, I was at the rank of lieutenant. And so I came up with the concept of spilling the LT, meaning me, because they spilled my career everywhere. Well, from that, I was actually on a flight flying out to speak at an engagement. And it came to me that it was okay to be angry. It's like all too often people want you to just be in the platform of positivity. And for me, it was like, I can get mad, but like the Bible says, be angry, but don't sin. So the word mad kept popping in my head. And I said, but I'm mentally resilient. What does that look like? I tell myself that I'm going to be okay, even when I'm not okay, even when I'm scared, even when it's not good. I'm actively resilient. I'm getting out of this bed. I can remember my husband telling me, hey, it's been a couple of weeks and you seem a little down with all of this. I get it that you're upset, but I'm not going to let you lie around and just kind of have atrophy all over your body and do nothing and become numb to life. You got to get moving. So it became a swing my legs over the bed and put my house slippers on if that's the best I can do that day. So actively resilient. The other D is demonstratively resilient. Now, the active and demonstrating seem the same, but when I'm demonstrating it, I'm thinking about what does that look like? Because contrary to what we say, we do feel like, how is this looking to other people? But for me, how are my kids looking at me? Are they going to think that this was actually true? They're probably not. But in order for me to demonstrate to them what resilience looked like, I had to do something else. Hence the returning to school and also opening the business and continuing forward with my writing. And then finally, the thing that was the chef's kiss, if you will, was the ability to document so well. So that's that last D. What we don't do is in the moment when things go wrong, we don't note it. We don't take a journal and remember that date and that time that can be undisputed that I was sitting on a podcast with Che Brown at 3 p.m. PST and speaking about mad resilience on this day, March 17th of 2025. And Shay couldn't dispute that because I wrote it down on my little paper. And so every day as an officer, even as a young deputy, I wrote down the out of the ordinary, the things that were not the normal routine things, and I made note of it. I believe to this day that documentation has been able to ward off so much more that could have happened to me, because I was able to say, nope, that's not what happened. Look at here. This was written down. Oh, no, I have this email and this document over here. And I'm glad that I did that, because it helped me be mad and to get it all out. And even with a pending arbitration and lawsuit that they're dragging out, by the way, I can be mad, but I can still continue forward with success.
I love it. Very, very powerful. And that kind of rolls right into it. Today's my January 1st, because you've kind of wrapped it and bundled it all together. But I'm curious, as you were speaking, you talked about what you would tell yourself on a daily basis. Take a moment and talk about the power of affirmations, the power of being able to say things in visualization. It seems like that was a key part that I was hearing. Why do people think that affirmations are hokey dokey these days? Well, I shouldn't say what they're thinking. Why is there sometimes a feeler out there that affirmations were a thing of our grandparents and our parents? I'm getting old, you can tell. But affirmations, what do they mean to you, and why are they more relevant today than probably ever before?
So, my favorite affirmation to myself actually doesn't have to do with the mad, but I say, you, speaking to myself, you are amazing, you are beautiful, and you are powerful beyond measure. And I tell myself this because of childhood. You spoke to it earlier, Jay Brown. Um, as a child, there was a whole lot of colorism going on, and that's another conversation for another day. But having had it told to me that I was dark and I wasn't as pretty and guys wouldn't like me, I I actually fed into that. So those are my childhood things that I would think about. And on March the 3rd of 2007, documented, remember, I realized that I was not ugly. I know that sounds crazy. I'm an adult, but that was my awakening and my moment. That mantra has stayed with me since that day. And it's a reminder to myself that, yeah, you are amazing. When people tell you that you are, absorb it, take it, soak it in. You're beautiful because you are created exactly the way God intended. And you're powerful beyond measure because I am in my lane doing what I need to do in this life. And I've always, from Girl Scouts to military to law enforcement, I've always made it about others and not just me. And God has richly blessed me because of living that way. So, no, mantras are not just old wives' tales and just empty words. They are if you don't act on what that mantra says and what you tell yourself.
I love it. And I know I was going to say it, but I've got to, because it was spot on. We're gonna ask another question. I'm gonna follow up with our mantra, and our mantra here at the Happy Entrepreneur Show is today is my January 1st. Now I know some of you wait for this moment every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can't wait to say those magical words. So you can go ahead and say those words now. Today is my January 1st. Happy New Year to you, by the way. And for everyone else who's tuning in for the very first time, by the way, today is my January 1st is our personal mantra at the Happy Entrepreneur Show. It represents a fresh start. It represents a do-over. It means our past, no matter how dark and gloomy that past is, or how bright and sunny the past may have been, the past no longer equals the future. And so my question for CeeCee on the other side is, she's had a lot of challenges. I don't know how many more she got, but she's been through some things. When you think of two questions, number one, when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And number two, when was another chance where there was some setback? Things didn't go the way you wanted them to. And how did you bounce back?
Well, I can say that I would say, just in knowing today is my January 1st, I love that, by the way. I think that's me every day. I'm waking up and saying, this is my opportunity to get it right, because I felt like some things didn't go right. That checklist wasn't finished yesterday. So, what that means to me is, again, rooted in resilience. It's giving yourself a little bit of grace that we give to so many other people, but we don't give to ourselves. So, me saying today is my January 1st, I think a moment from the past that I could think about and share with you was a miracle of my son's birth and the realization of rerouting my faith in God. I had been told by six doctors he's got some type of issue. He may not be born. They pretty much wrote him off at a 50% chance of survival, first of all. And if he did, there would be some type of challenge. And my mother, by the grace of God and the woman that she is, she taught me so much about the spiritual base and taking everything to God. And I had to borrow her faith a little stronger back then. And when I tell you this kid is a beast in a good way. Can sing, dance, draw. I just I admire the fact that God blessed 10 times over, and I believe that it was because of that faith and me being able to say, "Hey, they told me this yesterday, but guess what? I'm going to use and borrow your mantra. Today's my January 1st. This baby's going to be born." And I am proud to say that in about a month, he'll be 25 years old. And that is a blessing for me.
And that is a proud mama who just turns 22 herself with that big smile on her face, by the way. She said, the apple don't fall from the tree, baby. You got it from somewhere. I got adults. I got to remind her, like, Dad, you know I'm really good at this. Right, of course. I mean, why would I doubt that? I mean, you know. So I'm
And
curious. Let me get serious.
I have to shout out my older two. I have two other children as well.
Shout them out, mama.
My
Shout them out, mom.
yeah, I have son, daughter, son. So I just want to make sure that I put that in there, and that miracle birth was the last one.
A proud mama for sure, for sure. I got to make sure everybody get a shout out, man. They might see this later. I'm with you. I'm following you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. And one of my favorite questions to ask, we have a few moments, we have a few minutes now, is what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? One of them. Now, I'll frame it for the audience because we don't want you to come down off the mountain with the 10 commandments. That's not what I'm asking you to do here, by the way. But I'm asking you to go back because she's had a lot of mentors on this journey. She's read probably countless books on this journey of life. I'm not sure you even recall how many hours of videos and trainings you watched online anymore. I kind of lost count. So here's the question. What's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? What is it, and why is it so important for the audience to know it?
I would go back to age 4. And I know that sounds crazy. No slight to my current mentors, and I have many. I was lucky enough to have a mentor as husband and mentor because I lean on him quite a bit and he pours into me. But I would have to say that my dad told me at age 4 to always ask why. And it didn't really make a whole lot of sense, of course, to a 4-year-old, but throughout my life, it allowed me to kind of pause and question before moving forward in everything that was shared with me or told to me, or assuming that the first drop of information was the actual fact. It made me hungry to go and find out and dig deeper so that I got the information before moving forward. And I am a firm believer in informed decisions. Don't make a decision unless you've got all your questions answered. So that question of why given to me when I was 4 is what fueled that. And I will forever miss my parents. First of all, they're no longer here on earth, but I will forever miss those words of encouragement from my dad.
Good, solid advice. Thanks for sharing, by the way. Spot on. You know, as we come down the home stretch, I'm curious, what do you do for fun? We're not out saving the world, helping people be resilient, raising children, you know, doing all the wonderful things you're doing with all the clothing with Christ on the back. Just some cool things, by the way. What do you do for fun to unwind and chill out these days?
I love to travel. When I can pack and go somewhere, it's the actual idea of packing, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
crazy.
laying out my items so that I can put them in a bag and I know that I'm taking off. And one of our favorite pastimes, and I say our, is my husband and I have a monster size fifth wheel. And putting that on the road and going camping to unplug is the ultimate for me. I love music. I love to dance, although this beat up body from all these years in law enforcement doesn't allow me to dance the way that I always wanted to and had in the past. But I love to sing in the shower. I don't do it too much publicly. And I love reading. And as most women and girls in my space, I love to shop. a good shopping trip is always on the menu. So
Is it
yes.
travel, shopping, food? I mean, I think you named them all there. That's just spot on. Time with the family. I mean, I love it. That's pretty cool. Thanks. Now, what's one of your favorite places you like to travel? Is it the camping, or is it getting away from the camping? What's one of your favorite places to travel to, and why?
You know what? I don't really have a favorite, but I can tell you that one of my dream trips was that I always wanted to stay in one of the over the water huts. And
Okay.
for my 50th birthday, well, it actually ended up being my 51st, my husband surprised me with an ultra lavish trip to Bora Bora. So I was able to actually enjoy something that I had been wanting to do for many, many years. But if I was to say that it's one that I have the deep sigh where I can just really relax, it's camping. It's waking up in the morning and making breakfast in the open and I don't know, just unplugging. That's the best.
Wow, that sounds pretty cool. By the way, thanks for sharing. As we come down the home stretch, a two-part question. Number one, for folks that are out there, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days, if any? I'm not sure if you're taking on any clients. And number two, how can folks best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation, follow with you, get some of that cool gear you're wearing? I didn't get any gear, ladies and gentlemen. I got to go online and order mine. By the way, she got this cool gear on. So two-part question. Number one, what type of clients you're looking to work with, and number two, how can they stay connected with you and get that cool gear as well?
Well, I am looking for anyone that is wanting to beef up their leadership. Not when things go wrong, but being prepared, like the documentation, before that happens. And that could be anyone, but primarily with people who are applying to law enforcement who want to do the job, but we have a tendency to say that certain people, well, no, that job is not for me. I think quite the opposite. We need more diversity within law enforcement. It's the truth. People don't like to hear that. But if people are looking to find out about my entire platform and all of my social media, it's very simple. It's my name, CeeCee Strong. So you can go to www.ceeceestrong.com and you can find me on all of the other social media platforms. And I would love to connect with you and to hold your hand through that process of staying mad resilient in life.
Well, let me say thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. I know you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So you're giving us the most precious resource you have, which is your time. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you. Thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in, by the way, because without you, well, we don't have a show, by the way. So thanks for allowing us to stream directly into your home, by the way. And I never get tired of reminding you, every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what you're going through, by the way, whether you've been hit with the punch you never saw coming, or you're going to that next level of success, whatever you're going, today in this moment, if you're alive, which you are, and you're watching, which you are, today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name hasn't changed. Still Che Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. We out of here. Thanks a lot, CeeCee. Peace, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. Out.